Item on tonight's agenda, Dinks and Links Social, located directly east of Lowe's Home Improvement. The applicant, Joe Catalani, is requesting sketch plan review associated with the development of a 39,000 square foot indoor-outdoor recreation facility on a 9.38 acre lot located in a high-intensity commercial district under section 269-5 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Is there anybody here representing this project? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, go through it.
Hi, I'm Joe Catalani from Dinks and Links. At least that's the name of it. So far, it might be Great Lakes Pickleball, we're not quite sure, but we're looking to kind of capitalize on the fastest growing sport in America right now, which is pickleball. And so you'll see these places sprouting up throughout the states. It is by far the fastest growing sport. And what was once kind of created by retirees in Florida is now changing. The average age for pickleball is now 55 years old, just under 35 years old. The national champion last week in Naples, Florida, was 17 years old. So it's getting younger and younger. It's very active for all different kinds of levels. So we're looking to build a kind of a family-oriented place out in Webster. We had spoke with Josh and Erica and met with Tony before regarding a different site, and there was a question regarding park, and I'm actually glad that we had that meeting. That was what made me think, you know what? And if we don't, we could jump to a different site where, even though, you know, a lot of the parking is pretty strict in Webster, and most everybody has a variance, we switched to a spot where we wouldn't need one. We switched to a spot that would give us 250 car parking and more if we needed it. So our hopes are to build an indoor-outdoor facility, have a small restaurant inside, have 14 pickleball courts inside, probably 6 to 8 outdoors, along with some other activities for younger kids, maybe a miniature golf course. And that's what we're hoping to do.
I know the area you're talking about, there's a lot of water laying in there right now. What's the deal with that? Is there any?
So they did a wetland delineation. They did a wetland delineation back there, which has been sent off from JD for New York State DEC. But the back end, where the building is being built, where all the ports and stuff are, they're not indicating that. They have a copy of that somewhere. There's a little bit in the front where the swale is, and they'll, I imagine, look to pipe that and build a parking around it and not touch the ponds that are in the back, which are meant for, water mitigation. More of the wetland issue is on a lot going to the east.
Parking would be right across the street.
Yeah, just exactly like Lowe's. So right across the way would be parking, you'd walk across the feeder road, and you'd walk right into it, so just like safety first.
Actually, the design of your elevation is quite attractive.
Yeah. Well, we didn't come out and give you an unreasonable building right off the bat. We decided that we wanted to build something that was kind of eye-catching, not only to you, but to our customers.
Sure.
We plan on entertaining a lot of family back there, and it'll all those canopies are lit up. They're lit up in the back. We've reached out to our neighbors, St. Anne's, and Lowe's, and we're happy to see it.
Okay, so you're for sketch plan, so I'll let the board take a look at it and comments on it.
Sure.
The main thing, as we spoke, I wanted you to have somebody representative here, obviously.
Yes, Dale.
Yeah, from Higgins. Because one of the things years ago, God, it's probably 20 years ago now, there was a curb cut approved by New York State to go out onto the 104 feeder lane.
Right.
Now, that's been kind of gone for years. we've never brought it up, never discussed it, because there's nothing of any significance, this
My understanding,
smaller projects, smaller projects. But now there's a point where we have to say, wait a minute, we have to get a good grip on this thing, and at what point do we do something? So that is something I think we need to resolve along with this project.
my understanding, Dale will speak to it, is that the Hagedorns back then, in the 80s, were hoping to get the mall that Aronicoke got.
No?
No? And I thought that's why that feeder road went out there.
Don't go there, please. No.
There was a
I
plan.
don't remember what the hell I had for breakfast, but I remember that.
There was a plan to build a mall there. Maybe
That was,
the timing may not have been Aronicoke. I think it was as opposed
Leonard
to.
Dobbs wanted to build the other one, Hagedorn wanted, you know, I know the history of it, believe me, it's all right here, it's been.
Yeah, I know. Most of the people there were not around.
But the curb cut was required at the time when St. Anne's got approved, or the nursing home.
Okay.
That's when that got approved. But simultaneously, the road was designed, was that Black Cherry, is that called? Black Cherry? Was designed across from the school to be able to come across that area into your property and exit onto the feeder, which would eliminate school buses on Ridge Road and eliminate a lot of the problems in that, traffic problems in that area. That was the intent of that. And nothing to do with the mall, though. Don't go there with that.
Okay. Okay, but I think our point is that we don't think that makes sense anymore to extend that to the 104 feeder road, because there isn't going to be the traffic that may have been in the plans before. It's just the small developments like pickleball. It just doesn't seem to make sense to us at this point, the cost for doing that. So that's an issue we'd like to figure out what makes sense there.
I agree with you, Dale. It is a big expense, but that's why we've kind of let this thing go and go and go. We didn't bother with it, you know, with a lot of the smaller places that we've gone in. You know, Popeyes and Dairy Queen, you know, they got their own exit over there, so we never brought any of that up. But now we're getting on the interior. Hopefully you do sell some of these places again. But at what point? I mean, does it have to be right now? I don't know. Depends on everybody's feelings, but I think we need to just get a resolution. When can we do this? At what point? Because if I'm recalling it in the resolution of the town board, any further development on that property deemed it necessary to put this connection in. So we let it go, so at what point can we do it? I think that's the crux of this whole thing.
I don't have an answer for that.
All right, okay, so I think this is a great project and everything. It's got, you know, it's good going in there, but again, I think we have to get this resolved. If it's not right now, is it next year? When can we, I think you gotta get an answer to that before this gets an approval. When can we come up with a timeline to complete that program?
I believe you received a letter from the senior-owned developer there that they really do not want.
Yeah, that isn't their call.
Yeah.
That's why the road was put there with a dead end. So it could continue. It goes right down to the fence. That's why it was put there, so the road can connect onto your property. That was the intent of it. When Betty Mullen DeProza was the CEO of St. Anne's at the time, she knew, she was well aware of it at the time it was on. Well, now that's, 20-some years ago. Things changed, but things still got to be done. The idea was to eliminate traffic, and that's part of the design of the overall area for the town. I know you can't answer to that, I'm not looking for an answer, but you guys need to get together. That's what I think what we got to do is get a solution to that.
I think the existing roadway between Lowe's and BJ's has accomplished a lot of that, kept traffic off of Ridge Road.
You know, one of the reason that road's there too, by the way, not the window, yeah. that was in another story.
Okay,
So in that resolution from the town to Lowe's, it said the developer may be required to build. So what you're saying is you guys want the road?
To connect through?
Yeah.
That was the intent.
Oh.
That's why we put the word on the same hands. They could have ended, like Josh was saying, they could have ended their parking, their driveway, that road coming in at their parking lot, but no, it had to be extended all the way back. So people knew this is going someplace. You know, like a subdivision,
Sure.
you stub it.
Stub it out.
You know? People say, well, you know, my kid's got his basketball there. You know, that's nice, but that road is intended to continue through, that's what I said.
So I guess that's something for the I can always to further with the town.
I don't know what the board feels on it, I mean, they say let it wait another year, whatever, I don't know. But we've got to get some kind of solution to it.
So could I ask, extended up to where, just as a clarification, like how far was the intention to extend it in the last resolution? Was it supposed to go up to that road that connects between BJ's and Lowe's? Or
I have a map if you want.
Well, it comes from St. Anne's, you know, next to by Lowe's,
Yep,
and then it crosses going north.
yep.
It meanders a little bit of an angle and then over and to the expressway feeder.
Okay.
And
So
there's-
frontage road.
You know how Barrett Drive is, that big
Yep,
stuff?
yep,
Basically one of
gotcha,
those.
okay.
Yeah, no, actually, okay. You can show us.
So there's Lowe's, this is the end. Come up through here, BJ's,
But right now.
So is this the
right now-
intention to eventually go this way?
I think that's what the intention was.
Right now, the road design isn't too important, it's just a timeline for that road, you know, for- So you wanna see what you can do with that, Dale? Come up with something, talk to the whoever's there. Okay?
good.
Board members, actually, here is for a sketch review. Anybody have any concerns or interest or comments?
I just have some questions. So with Lowe's, is trucking access being right there running to your property?
Yes.
Is that road remaining?
Yes.
I think the concrete.
That actually is a,
Is there an easement there?
there is an easement, that's a truck turnaround for the entire development, not just for Lowe's. Lowe's kind of is capitalized on it, but it is actually for the entire development for a truck turnaround.
Okay. Yeah, I know sometimes they gate it off in the back where their storage is. The sketch plan, he's going off the, substantial parking across the street. Is there any way to maybe push the building a little bit more south and do ADA parking in the front? Like you say, if you have any elderly or need to get closer to the building?
I don't see a problem with that.
Frontage
I think there's
parking.
20 feet right now. Yeah, certainly we can find a spot for that. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Is that road there, is that town road? The roads and BJ's, is that owned by the town, that road, or?
It's private.
It's not dedicated.
Maybe something considered somehow to slow down a little bit traffic there, because you're gonna have contractors coming through there. If you have kids or others coming or crossing the road to get into the building, is there maybe speed bump or something you could
Good.
just slow it down a little
Yeah,
bit?
why not?
Or designated crossing as part of the concept? Yeah.
Yeah, speed bump's not a bad idea. They put that, I think they put that little turn in the road there right up to Lowe's just to do that.
That's not even the plan.
So,
All we're interested in is the building and a timeline for the curb cut.
so right now they're
Interior design of the
showing,
road is not here tonight.
showing the building, and then across the street, they're showing the parking.
Correct.
It's just a way for either ADA parking from the building or a designated walk area to go from the parking to the building.
What's that there?
You know, Lowe's that has a raised.
A speed bump, underweight speed bump, just a designated walk area that is raised and clearly defined so that it forces somebody to slow down. Remember,
going by there.
There's four-way stops. Stop signs.
So for sketch plan, what do you guys think of the design of the building, okay?
The use is good.
We'll have to just start with it. I mean, what is it, 39,000 square?
39.
All right, I like the idea of what you're showing for the base around it, broken up. That adds to it a whole lot.
Pretty good.
What's that?
Yeah, nice looking building.
Yeah, no, that's good. All right, anybody, any questions or concerns? So we're just for sketch plan, so you just gotta deal with DEC and all that now.
Yeah, I mean, all you know.
All right, so looking around the road with it.
Appreciate it.
So if you guys can come up with, have somebody come up with a decision and a timeline that we can agree to, I think that's gonna be key. Okay? Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Okay, thanks for coming in.